अस्सलाम वालेकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। वेलकम टू इस्लामिक फाइनेंस एंड प्रॉपर्टीज़। मैं आपका होस्ट अली काजी। आज मैं बहुत ही दो खूबसूरत और यंग इस्टेट एजेंट्स लेके आया हूँ। मैं एक्चुअली ये चाह रहा था कि हमारी जो कम्युनिटी है उसको मोटिवेशन भी मिले इन टर्म्स ऑफ टू कम इन टू दिस लाइन ऑफ बिजनेस। और वो यंग हैं, अभी अभी उन्होंने शुरू किया है और वो बोथ रेजिडेंशियल सेल्स भी करते हैं और रेंटल भी करते हैं। उन्होंने अपना साइड बिजनेस भी शुरू किया हुआ है, तो इट्स एक्चुअली क्वाइट प्लीजिंग। और इस तरह के हमने एंटरप्रेन्योर्स जो हैं वो आप लोगों के सामने लेके भी आने हैं। तो आज उनसे मुलाकात करते हैं। पहले अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम
अच्छा,
वरहमतुल्लाहि
सबसे पहले तो आप अपना तारुफ खुद ही करें जी। हाँ,
My name is Imtiaz.
इम्तियाज़।
Yes, I'm 19 and I'm a estate agent at Best Views Estate Agency.
फैंटास्टिक फैंटास्टिक। एंड योरसेल्फ एज वेल?
My name is Azmir.
अजमीर।
Azmir.
जी जी।
I have a business with Imtiaz, and I study at university. I study accounting and finance. I'm in my second year of university.
Okay, so you're basically you're sort of following that route where you're actually in education, full-time education,
Yes.
and also you're actually sort of doing the estate agency
Yeah.
part as well. Okay, so you're actually an estate agent, you're actually
Yeah.
an estate agent,
Yeah.
and you're both 19.
Yeah.
Yes.
How fantastic. Actually, what made you go into this business? I mean, what was the motivation? I mean,
For me, the motivation was my family. My uncle, he's a mortgage broker himself. So he was a lot of the times talking about properties when we had a family gathering. So whenever I was there, I would always listen to him at a young age. On top of that, when I heard him speak, I just wanted to get into the business a lot of the time. So it just went from there. And then when I was at the right age of 16, 17, I went to my cousin's lettings negotiation, basically real estate agency in Whitechapel. And that's when I did lettings over there for Central London, Whitechapel. And then when I turned 18, I was a property manager.
okay, wow.
In
Okay,
South
so
Croydon.
property manager at 18.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
fantastic.
then I went and checked on properties, did some EPCs, done some inspections, and yeah, from there I went into sales because I felt like that's where my passion was.
And also
yeah,
properties and so on
exactly.
and so forth. But that's the right line of work.
Yeah.
What's motivated
For
you?
me, it was working with my friend Imtiaz. For a long time, we were always thinking about what to do next. What's next? What's next? What should we accomplish next? And then it got to a point where he liked real estate. So he came to me and said, let's start something in real estate. And I said, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this properly. We're going to have high goals for this next few years. And we're going to start something professionally. We started it, and then as we started doing it, I started liking it more and more. And I really developed a passion for it. And we got to go on so many new experiences in new places where we are a place where we enjoy ourselves now.
Okay. So let me just sort of touch on the so you're mainly as an employee, you're working with an estate agents and you're doing residential sales.
Yeah.
Okay, just tell our viewers what's actually happening with the residential market, because obviously you're working on the ground level, so you'd be able to sort of give us exactly what's happening rather than us reading articles and so on and so forth. We've heard that the market is doing all sorts of things like so it's not performing as well as it was. Is that the reality? What's your opinion? What's actually happening at the ground level?
Yeah, so I would agree on that statement where the property market has gone down exactly by 4% since November.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has gone down in property prices due to the fact with the mortgages at the moment, interest rates are going up. The base rate is right now at 4%.
Yes,
So,
it is. Yes, it is. So it is very, very
yeah,
expensive.
It's very expensive, and it's a lot harder for a lot of people to get properties right now. But
Well, it's very expensive
exactly,
for people to get a
exactly,
property.
and it's very expensive and is very harder for people to get mortgages at the moment. For the repayment plan, it's not easy to pay that off.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's harder for buy-to-let investors to go into finding properties and renting.
Have
out.
you seen that the buy-to-let market is, because there was a lot of, I mean, obviously it's a massive, massive advantage right now for first-time buyers to actually walk in,
Yeah.
and actually, or the end user to actually buy the
Exactly,
property.
yeah.
But for investors, it's just becoming that bit more difficult.
It's
isn't
that
it?
bit more difficult because there's no profit or for their investment. So a lot of the times, buy-to-let investors are just waiting for that property market to drop a bit more.
Yeah.
But even then, mortgage rates are going up, so it balances out. It doesn't really work for the buy-to-let investors.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for the first-time buyers and the cash buyers, and for the end users, the perfect time right now because stamp duty has been cut for them.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
on top of that, the price has dropped for them, so it's easier for them to purchase that property. And even with the mortgage rates, you're equaling it out, so it's the best time for you to get a property if you're a first-time
Okay,
buyer.
just to summarize everything, what Imtiaz has said, basically, what Imtiaz is saying is, at the moment, the buy-to-let market is probably not as
Predominant.
buoyant, simply because when the interest rates actually go up, what then happens is it's because every property has to meet a stress test as well. And because they're not meeting the stress test, because rental values are slightly lower than what the mortgage repayment is, unfortunately, that part of the business is very, very slow. And because that's slow, and there's a massive vacuum as far as buy-to-let investors are concerned, what's actually happened is that prices have actually dropped a bit. Although there's a massive demand in the property market, but because you're taking out this big, massive portion of buy-to-let investors out of the property market, so what's actually happening is prices have actually genuinely gone down a bit, which is a massive advantage for first-time buyers or people that are actually using the property as an end user. So hence, the market price has actually fallen slightly, which is a massive advantage to all our first-time buyers out there. And I always say to our Muslim brothers and sisters, okay, please, for God's sake, get on the property ladder. And now is the time. Actually, right, okay, so let me touch with you on the rental side as well.
Yes.
So what's actually happening to the rental side? Where are we on the rental side on
On
this?
the rental side, as Imtiaz said, the base rate is going up. So all the homeowners and landlords that originally had the houses, they charge higher rent as well at this point.
Well, there's a shortage of rental properties
Of
out
course.
there, isn't there?
Of course, and because there's such a high demand for it and there's lower supply for it, the prices have increased over the past 2-3 years, especially because of COVID-19. What happened with COVID-19 was a lot of people had to move out of central London area because everyone went to remote working. So as they did that, then the prices in suburban areas started rising as well. And then the supply for the housing in suburban areas started dropping as well.
Do you know, that's a very, very good point that you've made, actually. It is actually a factual thing as well. Because of COVID-19, it actually taught us basically a new way of living, isn't it? And we saw that a lot of people, where they were living in 2-bedroom flats in central London, just to be close to work, suddenly,
Move out.
you know, they thought, well, hang on a minute, you know, let's sell up and go into the suburbs because we're going to be working from home anyway.
Exactly.
And there is a new culture out there. And I think central London, but since then, since after the COVID, the market has but there is a new, COVID has taught us quite a few things.
Yeah.
I would say what happened is that because of the pandemic and lockdowns, we had repeated lockdowns, a lot of companies, they did everything remotely. But since the COVID finished, everyone's basically moved back into London. A lot of companies have said, okay, come back to work now. And because of that, the prices have been going so volatile recently. It's been very hectic in the market.
Okay. So, and that's basically what's happening to the residential market as well.
Residential
It
market.
is definitely on the down. Do you know how long this is going to be? What's the foreseeable future for this? I
Well-
mean, is it going to be a quick sort of a turnaround, or in your opinion, what do you think?
I wouldn't say it would be a quick turnaround. With the living crisis at the moment, everything's gone up, so it's harder for everyone to basically find the money to purchase and
Especially,
property.
we're talking about investors out
Exactly,
there.
exactly. More time or not, I have seen a trend of a lot of cash buyers coming into play now because of the fact that the prices are dropped. It's easier for them to get a return later on.
And
So-
plus also, if you're actually buying something cash, you might, and with the market falling, then there is that bigger opportunity as well, isn't there?
Exactly.
Okay.
So a lot of cash buyers have come into play now. First-time buyers as well. Buy-to-let investors, not that much. Being that person that cold calls all the time, calling the buy-to-let investors, you're not going to get that. But hopefully by the next year, we'll see a different trend in the property market, less with mortgage repayments, interest rates, an easy basically balance of the property prices and the mortgage rates. So yeah, hopefully, inshallah, we'll get something there.
Okay, brilliant.
And as you said, as the prices come down for the mortgage rates and it's easier to buy housing, people can start buying second houses, which will make it easier for the first houses to go to rent. So when the markets get
Or the second houses.
Yeah.
Or the third.
it depends on where you are and how the demographic is. But when people buy the next house, they have a house available, the original house.
Yeah.
That goes to the market. And because of a huge flood of these houses, the houses start to get cheaper as well.
Okay.
For the
Well, look,
rents.
I mean, hopefully, I mean, I mean, you know, and like I said, I mean, you know, there's one thing that I want to point out to our audience. This is our opinion. This is, you know, this is not something that.
Yeah.
And what we're discussing is we're actually discussing in terms of what's actually happening to the market from the ground root level, and these opinions that we have is specifically our own opinion, and you're more than welcome to make up your own opinion. Sorry, I think we've got a caller online. Hello?
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay, so I think they've dropped the call. I mean, you're more than welcome to ring back. Just to basically remind everyone, the telephone number to ring is 0208 662 4500. और अगर आप टेलीफोन चाहें तो आप ईमेल भी हमें कर सकते हैं, which is info@iqra.tv. By all means आप हमें ईमेल करें और we'll be happy to answer your question there and then. इस वक्त हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं दो बहुत young Muslim men who've actually taken a step in their professional lives, and they've actually gone into the property business, and why they've gone in there, what motivated them, and what they think is happening to the market as well. वो हम लोग इनके साथ discussion कर रहे हैं. Right, okay. So now just a very, very quick one, right? Okay, so you basically, both of you guys, then thought that you would start your own business as well in regards to the rental aspect.
Yeah.
But before we touch on that, what we're going to do is we're going to go to a call and let's see what they say. Ji, Assalamu alaikum. Hello?
Wa alaikum salam. Hi, Akhi.
Yes,
I just have a question for the brothers.
Sorry, can I ask? Sorry, can I ask who's calling first?
Yes, this is. My name is Ahmed.
Ahmed. And where are you calling from, Ahmed?
I'm calling from West London.
All right. Okay. So yes, fire away. What's your question?
Yes, my question is. It is a very general, vague question, but I just want to know about the general trend in UK property markets.
Okay. So general trend in the UK property market.
Yes.
What's actually happening now? Is that what you wanted to know?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you sound ever so young as well on the phone. I've got to admit. Are you in the property business yourself as well, or are you thinking of getting in there?
No, I'm not. I'm not in the property business.
All right. Okay. So it's Ahmed, and he's Ahmed, or basically he's just asking what's the general trend in the business, what's actually happening to the property market. I think they're going to fire away.
On the rental side, as I said earlier, prices are increasing. Not as much as on the buyer side, but they still are increasing. You could, from my personal opinion, you could see a drop after the recession ends, because we are currently in a very big economic crisis. The cost of living is going up. So as the prices come down, so should rental properties.
And you think that the rental properties will come down as well?
I do hope so, and I do believe so. Especially because of there's multiple projects currently working on right now, such as the HS2. There's people working on Sitel, which is a company that does completely like remote working.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, as technology improves, we should be seeing a drop in rental prices.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's just take a call first. Hello, Ji. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, who's this?
Walaikum assalam. My name is Anjum.
Sorry, Anjum. Did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. And where are you calling from, Anjum?
I'm calling from Ilford.
Ilford. Yeah. Okay. Fire away.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, what advice would you give to first-time buyers?
Okay. And that's something that our friend Imtiaz is going to answer. Okay. So
Yeah, I'd love that.
it's Anjum here, and she's basically saying, what kind of advice would you give to a first-time buyer?
So my advice to a first-time buyer is basically be prepared on what you're looking for. So structure yourself in what you're looking for, what you can afford. So speaking to mortgage brokers, speaking to financial advisors will benefit you a lot. Multiple is my advice, speaking to multiple mortgage brokers to get the right interest rates you can get and to see your finances before going out on viewings, before looking at properties.
So basically what you're saying is best to know how much you can afford before you go out and buy.
Exactly.
The essence is always, and I always say this to people, and very correctly said as well, that you need to know if you're going out to buy a suit, you need to have the money to purchase a suit.
Exactly.
And not just a shirt. You'll come back with a shirt,
Yeah.
which will be highly disappointing.
Exactly.
So yeah, absolutely. Get your finances sorted out
Yeah.
first, and then
And then basically go to the viewing, see what you can afford, and then once you do that, go back to your mortgage broker, see if you can afford it, and then purchase that property. But for first-time buyers, I would say go into keep your mind open. So if you say you want a 3-bedroom house, but your finances can't afford it, then have an open mind in saying, look, let me see if I can afford this later on. Or say if I can afford a 2-bedroom, then yeah.
and then jump onto us. So
Exactly.
basically, I think in essence what you're saying is you have to be realistic
Exactly.
in terms of what you're buying. Obviously you being an estate agent,
Yeah.
there's got to be a lot of a situation where you have your favorite buyers and I mean there is a lot of that as well, isn't there?
Exactly.
So I always say, please, for God's sake, be friends with that estate
Exactly.
agent as well.
Exactly.
I think that's really important because they can actually help you. Am I right in saying?
Yeah, definitely. If you have that rapport with the estate agent, or if you're an estate agent yourself and you have that rapport with a buyer, then it benefits you both. With the buyer's sake, you may be able to get a deal. Not saying that I do that myself, but
no,
yeah.
of course not. I mean, that doesn't even that's not even comprehensible. Okay, look, let's just take the next call, and we'll touch on this a little later on.
Yeah.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Kaun bol rahe? Hello.
Hello, walaikum assalam rahmatullah. I was just wondering, I wanted to ask, first of all, it's really nice to know that such young youth, young children are working so hard, mashallah. It's really nice to see that. I was just wondering, is this the right time to buy the house, or should we wait a few more months maybe, and then buy it? I mean, how long should we wait so that the prices are getting cheaper?
Absolutely. Can I ask you, first of all, what's your name?
My name is Shazra.
And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Croydon.
Okay, right. Okay, so Shudra from Croydon saying, is this the right time to buy or should we wait?
So depending on your situation, right? It always depends on the situation at hand, whether you're, like I said, a first-time buyer or if you're a second-time buyer. If you're a first-time buyer, yeah, right now would be the great time because you have all the benefits on your side with stamp duty and property prices at the moment. But if you're a second-time buyer, I would suggest waiting.
When you say second-time buyer,
yeah, so
you mean
like
someone who's looking to invest,
or
get a rental, get a rental income, or
second-time buyer, whether you're an investor, whether you need a property to sell in order to purchase onwards for your next property. Say for example you have a 2-bed flat and you want to purchase a 3-bedroom. It's depending because stamp duty is very high at the moment for investors or second-time buyers. So definitely speak to a financial advisor, see what you can afford, first of all, and then see if it's what you're looking for, if it's the right time for you, if what you're looking for is out there for you. So, yeah, that's my advice to you. First-time buyers, go for it right now. Second-time buyers, wait and see what you can do. That's my advice.
Okay, good. Can I give you my opinion as well?
Yeah.
I mean, I love this because you're so. You've just both of you guys have just come into the business and you've really understood the mechanics of this thing as well, which is absolutely fantastic. I actually kudos to you guys, and I hope that the people that are actually watching, that are 19 and in their early 20s as well, and are thinking of a career, I think this is something where you could actually certainly have a look at. I think it's a phenomenal career path for you to choose. Okay, just to give you a perspective in terms of, okay, so I always say the best time to buy it is the time when you can afford it, okay, especially if you're buying it as an end user. Better to pay your mortgage than to pay somebody else's mortgage. So if you are looking to buy, obviously you'd have to sort of consider all sorts of things in regards to what you can afford and so on and so forth, but certainly go ahead and do it. Okay, we'll just go to a next caller if that's okay. Ji, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm calling from Croydon.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Adil.
Adil. Yeah, Adil.
First, I just want to say thank you for all the information so far. Both the brothers seem very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to buy my first investment property. And, of course, like you're saying, the market seems like it's taking quite a hit recently. So what kind of areas do you expect to boom first? Do you think London will be the best place to invest first and then the rest of the cities will follow? Or do you think I should invest more into the smaller cities and will I expect to get better returns there?
Okay, we're going to get a little opinion from both of them because they're talking about sort of rental sort of thing. I know where I am on this. Okay, and from my point of view, London or the UK they pretty much act very much hand in hand. So I don't think that's going to be the issue here. But I certainly want to get your opinions as well. I mean, like I said, it is an opinion, and anything that we discuss here, it isn't advice. It is a general sort of an opinion. Obviously, you're more than welcome to take your own opinions from other places as well. But go ahead. But Asmid, do you want to start?
I'll start. In my humble opinion, I really would look into Birmingham and Manchester kind of areas.
Okay.
Right? London is like, we've seen London be the capital for the past 50
Well, it is the capital.
It's the capital, but I mean the prices and everyone wants to move to London. It's been the hype for so many decades now. And there's a lot of investment going into other cities like Birmingham and Manchester. There's Liverpool as well.
Yeah. Even Newcastle.
Yeah, and if you look at all the banks, and there's a lot of firms that are moving their offices towards Birmingham area. So for me, in my opinion, I think if you look into the northern areas, Birmingham, Manchester, there's Leicester as well, they are very good investment opportunities.
Yeah, okay. So from your point of view, outside of London, simply because it's more affordable.
London is a safe.
Yeah, London is a safe bet,
safe,
but these cities, I mean, Birmingham is the second largest city in England.
Yeah.
Okay, but these are, property prices there are considerably softer than London, or certainly central London, without a doubt.
I do believe
okay, so
right.
that's actually a good opinion to have. And what's your...
I would agree on both of you guys as a point. Going to a northern area would benefit you investment-wise, but at the same time you'll get less out of your money, so you get a smaller risk, a smaller reward, right? But if you were to get into London, that is a lot more expensive, so you'll get a higher risk, higher reward. So I would say it's up to you and your choice, but I would say if you're a first-time investor and if you've got the funds for it, then go for something up north, and then
Okay, well, look, I mean, it's a good point. Yeah. Obviously, there is that aspect of things as well, where how much you put into the pot, and then that's what you get back as well. There is that, but in the property market, what we really need to be looking at is the rental yield as well, in terms of the percentage that you're going to get back. We're going to touch on that straight after the break, and I'm going to go into a bit more detail in regards to how you can work out a rental yield and what is the safest bet. ब्रेक के बाद मैं आपका इंतज़ार करूँगा। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।